Now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to tonight's Elite Earners webinar. My name is Karen Heaton and I am your host. Tonight we will be privileged to hear from special guest trainers, Chris and Susan Beasley. They are accountants and management consultants by profession. They are very well known in the MOB community. In fact, because of MOB, they have traveled over 120,000 miles. This year alone, they've traveled to Costa Rica, Mexico, Las Vegas, Singapore, and Australia. And they've also mentored MOB clients all across the USA. To date, they have earned well over $300,000 in commissions and qualified for the tuition reimbursement program. Chris and Susan will be teaching how to make the magic happen by understanding your perfect client and putting the perfect message in front of them at the right time. Knowing your personal story and sharing it with others is also integral to the success equation, and this is how they themselves have built their MOB business. So let's turn the time over to Chris and Susan. Are you there? Oh, I can't find them. Hang on just a second. Let me see if I can get them back on the line. Okay, we're back on. So Chris and Susan, it's over to you.
Thanks for the wonderful introduction, Karen, and we're absolutely delighted to be with you here tonight, all the way across the pond from London in the UK. It's really funny to actually be back here at home when we've spent so much time this year travelling. And to be perfectly honest, we have to share our story at the beginning, and storytelling is one of the things we're really passionate about. But as you will find out from this training tonight, there's no point in learning the storytelling unless you learn something far more important. So this is how life started out for us. We had a passion for skiing. We actually met on a skiing holiday, believe it or not.
We certainly did.
Many years ago. And it became the thing that actually drove our lives, aside from our busy management consultancy. That was really and truly what many of you will know as our time for money job. And realistically, we realized as we were approaching our 50s, mid-50s, that time was pretty much running out for us, and there was so much more we wanted to do with our lives.
Yes, you know, when you get to your mid-50s, well, in actual fact, I was 57 when we started our online business. But it's not until you get to 50 that you realize that actually retirement, as they call it, whatever that means for you, I mean, for us, retirement is what we're doing now. We call ourselves semi-retired because we love what we do. It's not work. It's not a job. We travel the world. We teach and train, and we get paid for it.
Oh, I think that's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. So to take you back 7 years, because we've been online for 7 years now, we were accountants and management consultants, as many of you may know, and we were working 10, 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. Now, some of you may still be doing that. And what I want to say to you at this point is that you found MOB, you found a way to change your life, you found a way out. What you now need to do is make it happen, and that's what we want to help you with tonight. So going back 7 years, you know, we found online entrepreneurship, I'm going to say by luck, because it really was luck. because, you know, the internet was doing its thing and becoming ever more popular, and it's only 7 years ago. It doesn't sound that long ago, but, you know, it wasn't then what it is today. And we were searching for online education for our clients so that we could teach our clients how to use the internet, how to market online, how to create websites, how to drive traffic to websites, how to get more customers, all those sorts of things, because we wanted our clients to be at the forefront of their market. And the market we worked in specifically was the veterinary profession. So we wanted the practices we worked for to be at the forefront of the internet technology and online marketing. And so that's what we were researching, and it was during that research that we actually found that we could start a business online. We could actually create an income through building a business online. And we thought to ourselves, well, maybe, just maybe, this is a way up for us. Because, you know, prior to that, even though we started to think about our retirement back in, I don't know, probably when we were about 50. So that was about, I don't know, 10 years ago, I guess. And we decided that, you know, because we didn't have any pension savings, if you like, or any significant pension savings. We had a couple of small pension pots, or 401ks, as you might call them, if you're watching this and you're in the US. We decided that we would put our money into property. And that, for us, we thought, well, that will work, because it means we can invest money, we can generate income, and over time, those assets will increase in value, and, you know, everything will be hunky-dory, as we say over here. Everything will be great. So we knew there was a few pitfalls. So we went on a course, and we went on a 3-day course. It's over a weekend. I remember it cost us a lot of money. And we went on this course, and there was, you know, lots of other people there as well. And we thought, right, okay, this is it. And so we learned about how to buy property. We learned all the pitfalls. We learned all the things we should do, all the things we shouldn't do, who we should talk to, who we shouldn't talk to, how we should go and buy property. And so off we went, and we started and created this property portfolio, didn't we?
Yeah, and it was all going really, really well. And, you know, you probably heard the term passive income, but we had created a retirement portfolio that would give us the passive income to support what we wanted to do in our future, which was travel a lot, spend a lot of time in the mountains pursuing our passion for skiing, and to help our favourite cause, which is education for children in the third world. But nobody could have forecast the huge worldwide recession of 2008. And we pretty much got caught up in that. And yeah, we could have cried into our milk and said, what the heck, you know, that's all over, life's over, you know.
We're going to work for the rest of our lives.
But, you know, that's not our mindset, and that's not what we wanted to do. So we decided we would have to make the best of a bad situation. And it was that point, and it's often at a pivotal point in your life, that the best decisions are made. And for us, that decision was to, scary as it may have seemed at the time when everything else was conspiring against us, to actually say, well, we're going to quit our management consultancy, we're going to build our online business full time, and we're going to make this work, and we are going to recover our situation the very best way that we can. And 7 years and a bit on, well, where are we, 2008, to where we are today. And yeah, we have lost a lot in our property portfolio, but we have 2 remaining properties, which is our ski chalet in France and our apartment in Spain on the Costa del Sol. And they both wipe their face, which is absolutely wonderful. And that's given us the freedom really to pursue our passion for teaching and training, traveling the world, and doing what we want. And it all comes just by making sure that you do what you need to do to build your business.
So can you start part-time? Yes, we started part-time. We decided that we're a bit mad when it comes to these sorts of things, because we know we're very driven when we set ourselves some bold targets, if you like. And we decided that we were going to be full-time online in 6 months. So we built our business for 6 months part-time. Was it hard work? Yeah, it was hard work. But we made it happen. And, you know, for yourself, whatever you're doing, wherever you are in your life at the moment, if you're listening to this, believe us that if you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. So for us, we gave all of our clients 6 months notice. And we said in 6 months' time, we are no longer going to be working for you. So that gave them time to sort themselves out. But for us, every night, every weekend, we spent a couple of hours at least every day building our business. Every single day. And at the end of 6 months, we had started to generate an income, because it wasn't quite as simple then as it is today. But we started generating income. We started to learn what we were doing. We were working with a mentor who was in actual fact 27 years old, but that was not there. He knew what we were doing. He knew what we were doing, or he taught us what we needed to do, should I say. And so we were able, after 6 months, to go full time and generate enough income for us to be able to survive, because it wasn't the level of income that we were used to, but it was enough. And so then we started to build and build and build our business. And here we are 7 years later. We have a totally different life now to what we had then, 10, 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. Because today, the slides don't work, it's good, oh, there we are. Today, we've actually got back our time, and that was our big driving force.
It was. So what have we done this year? And this is not to brag, seriously. It's to show what's possible when you do what you need to do to get the results that you want. So we've been to Costa Rica. We actually got to see Matt's new resort, albeit it wasn't quite ready then. And we did something we've always wanted to do, which is ride along the beach on horses into the sunset. And that picture says it all. We've been sailing off the coast. We've seen Wales. We've been to Las Vegas and just had the most best time. We went to Grand Canyon. Yeah, these are experiences that at one time when things were rock bottom, we thought we were going to have to give up, but we didn't, because we kept going, because we knew the end result that we had in mind and what we wanted to achieve. We made sure that we did it. So what else have we done? We did, oh, you missed it, we did the
Hang on, we go back.
Sorry, we did but this is the funny story, because stories are really important. The kissing the dolphin, that was wonderful. Now what we haven't got there, which we really should have, which is a picture of Matt kissing a dolphin. He wasn't so impressed, or maybe the dolphin wasn't so impressed, but it was a fantastic adventure and a memory that we will carry forever. Zip lining, well, that's another story in itself, and of course dune buggy riding, which is
that was in Portugal.
So you've just got to think about the things that you want to do, because they will become the driving force for you. And this is a picture that Chris had up earlier and just went back to. This was our driving force. This is what kept us going.
This is our passion.
Yeah, all the time when things were not so good, was that we were going to retire to the mountains. Not so now. Our dreams have changed a little bit, and yes, we love the mountains, but we don't want to retire there. We want to carry on travelling until our time comes to go over the rainbow.
That sounds good.
Yeah. New York Freedom Towers.
That was earlier on this year. Yeah, we enjoyed that.
Brilliant.
And we're going back again in January. That'd be awesome.
And this is very special. This is a balloon ride over the Nile in Egypt. who would be mad enough to get into a balloon filled with hot air with flames going into it and in a little basket? Honestly, I thought I was mad as I did it, but I thought, you know, what a way to go if that's the way we could go. And it was absolutely tremendous.
Now, here's a trip. Here's one of the mode trips that we did. We went to Singapore to speak at the Supercharge in Singapore. And while we were there, it was quite funny because before we got there, somebody contacted us and said, oh, I'm in Singapore. We met many, many years ago. And he said, I'd like to take you out to somewhere very special. We said, okay, yeah, that's fantastic. And so I think it was the second night we got there. We'd arranged a guy would come and pick us up in a car. In fact, it was an Uber.
Yeah, he came in an Uber.
He picked us up in an Uber.
And we said, where are we going? Where are we going? So I'm not telling you. You've got to wait and see.
And we drove into, I don't know, the middle of Singapore somewhere, got out the car, and there's this huge queue of people all queuing up to go into what we just said, oh, it's a nightclub. But in actual fact, it wasn't a nightclub. It was a very, very, very special bar, and it was called the Altitude Bar, and it was 64 floors up.
And I don't like elevators, lifts. I hate them, but I had to do it.
It was the fastest elevator in the world. I mean, 64 floors, and it was over in about 20 seconds. But anyway, the point was we went up to the top of this building. It was a glass wall all the way around the top. And we were there probably about 5 o'clock, and so it was still light. And then it started to get dark. And as it started to get dark, the lights of Singapore came up, and we had a 360-degree view from 64 floors up, all open air.
Brilliant.
To be able to see Singapore lighting up. And this picture is, it's the special hotel with the boat on the top of the bay, Marina Bay Sands Hotel. Absolutely amazing. You know, if you ever get the chance to go to the Altitude Bar, you will have to book in advance. But it was absolutely an amazing adventure for us, something we'd never do if we didn't know people around the world, I guess.
And all of this is very relevant for when we get to the training in a minute, trust us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not just having fun sharing our story. Now, this was the whiteboard in our office long before we started our online journey. We'd already thought about, through some personal development we'd done, about envisioning the places we wanted to go, things we wanted to do. And one of those was to go to Australia. And, you know, as the years passed, we never really thought it would happen. But then, lo and behold, this year we got invited to go and speak at Supercharge Summit in Sydney. And there we are. That was coming off a plane after 23 and a half hours flying from London. Yes, we looked very fresh. It was quite cold there when we arrived. And that's,
well, this was about 5:30 in the morning.
And this is Sydney Harbour Bridge in the background. But what was so fantastic was the whole of this area was buzzing. Everyone was like running around like little bees because they go to and from work on these launches, these boats. Ferries versus what we know as trains, tubes, cars. It was just fantastic. But we had a wonderful experience there, and we loved teaching. So that was very special for us. And then this year, just recently, we were speaking at Supercharge in Las Vegas. And this was a very, very special memory for us because you can see in the background there's this tall building there, and that's called the Stratosphere Hotel. And that was where we attended our very first internet marketing focused event. And we traveled all across the Atlantic from London to go to this event. We didn't really know anything much about anything.
We got invited by our mentor.
Yeah, we got invited by our mentor.
And didn't pay the bills though.
No. And we just thought, you know, we've got to go. We have to see what this is all about. And that's why events for us are so important, and why we go on and on and on about going to events, because they are pivotal. They will make a difference to your business.
And what I want to say here is that you have to remember that, you know, MOBE has an events funnel, the IM Freedom Funnel. And, you know, we promote it all the time. we promote 2 or 3 or 4 a month, because it's important that you continue to get people into the funnel, the sales funnel. The I Am Freedom event is a sales funnel, and that's what I want you to remember. It's a sales funnel, or a marketing funnel, as I prefer to call it. It's a marketing funnel, so that you generate people into that event, and then you have to just leave them alone, because the guys at the I Am Freedom will sell them into the HBS, and then the guys at the HBS will sell them the back-end products, silver, gold, titanium, platinum, diamond, and mentoring, and that's where you make your money. And I want you to remember that the money is on the back end, because the reason that's important, as we go through this training, then you will understand why we do what we do, because the money's on the back end. So I want you to write that down and remember it.
That's your golden nugget for tonight.
Remember that. That's for tonight, yeah. So that was Vegas. We had a great time, and we actually went back there up the top, and we watched people jumping off. There's an 880 foot, not skydive, what do they call it?
Bungee jump.
Bungee jump off the top of the hotel. It's scary.
But we did actually record a video as well, because, you know, we love our video. It's the way we engage and build relationships with our audience. So if you can do video, we would strongly urge you to do it. And if you feel a little bit scared about it, just do it anyway, because it will make the difference.
So, of course, here's what we love doing. We're not quite doing it from stage tonight, but
it's as good as.
It's as good as, yeah. We just love teaching and training and helping people. And, you know, you're watching this webinar tonight, and, you know, we're just going to move into some training now. We want you to take notes, be prepared, and listen to what we have to say, because we've done a lot of teaching and training. We've had a heck of a lot of feedback from people saying, you know, what you teach and train has really helped me move forward. We do mentoring, and what I want you to understand is that teaching and training is something that you need to grab hold of, but not just listen. I don't want you to just listen to what we have to say. I want you to actually take action on what we have to say. So after this webinar, I don't know what time it is. I think it's 9 o'clock Eastern. We started. It's about 2 o'clock here in the UK.
AM,
that is, yeah. You know, it's all different times around the world, but, you know, you may very well be watching this as a replay. I have absolutely no idea. But it doesn't matter when you're watching it. What I want you to do is, after we finish teaching you and going through this webinar, showing you what we want to show you, then you go and take some action on it. Okay, that's the key for you. You have to take action. I can tell you, many years ago, when we first started, we went every weekend for nearly 9 months to an event, and we really felt great in ourselves. We said, oh, we're learning some fantastic stuff, but we weren't making any money because we weren't implementing. We learned a heck of a lot for 9 months, but we didn't do anything with it. So that's the key for you. And I know everybody says you've got to take action, but it's absolutely true. If you don't do anything, you won't make any money.
And I read an email from Matt today, and one of the points that he made in it, which is so relevant to what Chris has said, is that there are people who will go to, say, a Supercharged Summit, or they go to one of the masterminds, or he'll watch one of these trainings, these elite trainings, and they'll go and take action straight away. And they are the people who will build the best MOB business for themselves. So I want you, or we want you, to be one of those people, which is why we want you to take action on what you learned tonight.
Well, I want you to, here's something for you. We have a Skype group called the 100K
Six-figure group.
Six-figure group. That's what it's called, six-figure group. And to get in that, you have to earn $100,000 in MOVE, in commissions, not sales, commissions. And we're getting people coming into that group now on a regular basis. There was another couple coming in today. Think about that. What are they got to do? They got to earn $100,000. Is it difficult? No, it isn't difficult. You just got to make the commitment, set yourself a goal, find out what you've got to do, and get on with it and do it. When we first joined MOVE just 2.5 years ago, we found out that from a coach. We went to our platinum event. We sat down with a coach and we said, what are we got to do to earn $100,000? Because Matt had just announced the very first, what was then called the Leaders Cruise. And he said, that's going to happen in December. This was February. We said, what are we got to learn? What are we got to do? And the coach worked out the numbers and said, you need to do 75 based on the MOVE averages, average conversion. You need to do 75 MTTBs, or 21 steps as they're called now. And you have to, but at that time, the IM Freedom Funnel didn't exist. It was just starting out. So that's why it was based on the 21 steps. So think about that. How could you get either 75 people turning up at an event or buying the 21-step program, whichever one they buy? Think about that, because that will earn you $100,000. We did it in 10 months, and it was 70 21 steps in those or MTTBs. I want you to think about that. Could you get to the next leaders event, and there are now 2 leaders events a year, one in March, one in September? Could you get to the next one in the next 12 months?
Of course you could.
No reason why you can't.
Of course you could.
So there's one goal for you. I'm going to do $100,000 in the next 12 months and get to the next, or get to one of the leaders events next year. Aim for the one in September. Amazing. Okay, let's get on with some training. Oh, the mouse has stopped. Hang on a sec.
Now, this is all very relevant, what we've said before, and all the pictures that we've shown you, because that's how we've built our business. When people see the things we do, the places we're traveling to, and the training that we give to our audience, our tribe, they want to be part of it.
So, cool.
And that's why it's so important that you speak the right message, and you speak that message to the right people. And this is what this presentation is about. It's about one of our favorite subjects, and it's about target marketing.
So as you can see here on the slide, it's the right message to the right market with the right product or service. So you know what your product or service is. You know what the products are. They're MOVE products. Okay, you know what they are. You know that at the front end, you've got the I Am Freedom free events, or you've got a whole variety of 21 steps. Okay, why do I say a whole variety? Because there's lots and lots of different front end messages all going into the same 21 steps. And the reason they're all different is because they're all aimed at slightly different markets. So you have to get the right one to the right market for you. You know, think about this. Let me give you an example. The wrong message to the wrong market won't give you the results you need. So if you were sending people who were 27 years old to the ultimate retirement breakthrough funnel into the 21 steps, guess what? It doesn't work, because it's the wrong message to the wrong market.
And do we see people doing it? Sadly, yes.
We do, unfortunately. We see people marketing to markets that got an age range of 27 to 65 plus, and they're marketing the ultimate retirement breakthrough. You know, if you want to market the ultimate retirement breakthrough, 50 plus, anybody younger than that, the majority of them just aren't interested. They just aren't.
It's a fact.
It's just a fact of life.
We've tried it.
They
don't want to know. And we've got 5 kids between us who are all millennials, and are they interested in their retirement? No.
Haven't got. They're not just. I'd rather spend my money on other stuff.
But nor were we at their age.
No, absolutely. It's not wrong. It's just that you don't have the right message to the right market. So you know what your product is. But if you don't, go through the 21 steps again and find out what the product is. Find out the key elements of the product. You know, the key elements of the 21 steps are it's a step-by-step system, a proven system, and then you've got a personal coach to handhold you through that system and answer questions as you go through. Forget all the training, they're the key elements. And they will, the 21 steps will help you build a business online, step by step. That's what you need to know. So, that's your first thing. You have to have right message, right market to the right product or service. So, we're going to talk about your target market, as Susan has already said. But what you need to understand is, who are you actually selling to? You have to get absolutely clear on your selling to, because you don't have to sell to them, they will just buy. If you get the right message to the right market at the right time, which is not your right time, but their right time, they will just buy. Now, the other thing that we see all the time and we hear people say, and to be honest, we used to be like it. You cannot sell to everyone, regardless of what you may think. It's nothing to do with what you think. It's to do with what your potential customer thinks. So you have to get that into your head. It's not about you, it's about them. You know, many years ago, we got introduced, and that's another story altogether, but we got introduced to network marketing. And it was actually, we went to a hotel presentation, all the stuff, and we got introduced to the principle of passive income. And we thought, this principle is brilliant, it works really well. Everybody will want it. Now, the presentation happened to be Amway. So we joined Amway, believe it or not. And we started building our business. Now, before, you know, when you actually sit down and think about this and you understand different streams of income, one of which being passive or residual income, you think, why doesn't everybody do this? Why doesn't everybody want this? And so that's where you go. And they teach you, obviously, go and talk to your friends and family, which is far different to what we teach in Mo. But of course, you go and start talking to friends and family, and 9 times out of 10 they go away, not interested.
Or they do it as a favour.
Or they do it as a favour and don't do anything. So the question is, so why is that? It's because not everybody wants what you have, and not everybody sees what you see. Not everybody in this world is an entrepreneur. Not everybody in this world wants to start their own business, whatever it is, whether it's online, offline, or whatever. They just don't. And, you know, that's a very fortunate situation, because otherwise you would never have people serving you in restaurants. You'd never have people...
No public servants.
No public servants. You know, you wouldn't have politicians. Maybe that's a good thing, I don't know. But, anyway. But, you know, you see what I mean. Okay, you know, there are people who want to become entrepreneurs and have their own business, and there are people who just love doing what they're doing and are happy doing what they're doing and will continue to do what they do. So you can't sell to everybody. So, how do you define your target market? You need to understand who they are and what they want. You need to identify their problems and frustrations, and you need to show them that your product or service, in this case Mobe, is their solution. It's not your solution, it's a solution to their problems, not a solution to your problems. It may have been a solution to your problems, but it's a solution to their problems. So you have to understand that. We are always talking about them. It doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you think. It's what they think and what they believe. So we're going to go through some stuff and show you how to think about your target market and how to get clear on your customer. But before we do that, I just want you to think about who your target customer might be. And I want you to think about yourself. Because you can create, there are thousands of people out there just like you. And they might be couples, they might be male, they might be female, they might be in the same job as you, same profession as you, whatever it is. They might have the same likes as you, they might like cats and dogs, they might like skiing, they might like golf, whatever. Doesn't matter. But there are thousands of people out there like you, and there are thousands of people out there who want to do what you have done. I.e. they want to start an online business or they join Mo for whatever reason. So you have to think about the things you need to think about. Age. Are they a couple or not? Who are your target market? Think about yourself. Are they professionals? What's your profession? Are they getting to pension age? Do they need to get their pension in place? Maybe they haven't got one yet. Maybe it's too small. Have they just been made redundant? You know, one of the things...
Laid off.
You know, laid off if you're an American. You know, it's one of the things that happened to me when we were in, I don't know, 1994 that happened. I got made redundant.
Lost his job.
Lost my job. Was it a problem at the time? Yeah, of course it was. But there are people who, in that position, will look at something, an alternative, like, oh, you have to think about why you did this, because they'll do the same. You know, there's a generic make money online market. It's very wide and very general, but it's still a market, and we'll talk about that later, because they still have wants and needs, problems and frustrations. You know, you can talk to internet marketers, you can talk to other business owners, personal development, work from home, people who want to work from home, people who love personal development. All of these are potential target markets for you, depending on your background. You know, how do you find these problems? Well, the thing is, go to Google, type in whatever you think the problem is. You can survey your list if you've got one. You might not have one yet, so that's a little bit difficult. You can go to Facebook. You can research your Facebook. There's forums. There's all sorts of things, all sorts of ways how you can find out what do they want and what their problems and frustrations are.
And the funny thing is, when we go through this with our personal mentoring students, they go very quiet and they can't quite understand to begin with why we say base all of this on yourself to start with. And then as we go through it and we help them design their funnels, there's an aha moment. And we want you to have this same aha moment as we give you this training, because it will completely change the way some of you are creating your funnels and doing your marketing. And that's what we want. We want success for you.
So you have to remember, okay, so this is getting clear on your customer. You have to remember what we said at the beginning. Right message to the right market with the right product. The product we can ignore because we know it's a solution. It's a question of getting the right message to the right market. So the thing you need to do first is decide who your market are. Who are these people that you want to market to? So let's have a look at this. So name, age, gender, and appearance. Why do we want you to do that? You can write, you can create a form, write all this down, take a screen grab of this slide or whatever. I want you to do that for the next few slides because it's really important. because you can then create a form and you can start answering these questions, because every one of these is a question. So, do they have a name? We give ours a name, and you'll find out what they are shortly. How old are they? What gender are they? Might be both genders, male or female. What's their appearance like? Why do we ask you that? Because this is for you to picture who they are when you're marketing. So when you're writing an email, when you're writing a headline, when you're writing a blog post, whatever it is you're doing, you're writing to a specific person. We want you to picture that person in your mind. It's one person. It's not thousands of people. I mean, we have a list of tens of thousands. But Susan writes our emails. In fact, I wrote 3 today, but there we are.
He's learning.
Yeah, I'm getting better at it.
I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see now. But the thing is, she writes to one person, and the email is all to one person. We don't start emails with "Hi guys."
We used to, before we knew that's not really the right way to do it, but you have to be personal, really, really personal, because from their perspective, they want to know what's in it for them. And therefore, when you speak to them personally from your heart, with your knowledge and knowing you can help them, it comes over in the right words. Even if you think you're rubbish at copywriting, the more you do it, the better you will get, I can assure you. And we always suggest to our students that they get a magazine and they cut out a picture of the person they want to write to, and they have it stuck up in front of their computer or on the office wall, so that they remember that when they are creating their content for that person.
So just as an example of what Susan just said, we've been marketing the Charlotte I Am Freedom, which is this week, and the first one was on Tuesday. And one of the ways we communicate with our people who have registered is we do it through text or SMS. And so we did that. And today, I got a text back from one person. And she said, I've been to the I Am Freedom. It was absolutely awesome. I loved it. I signed up for the 3-day HBS, and I'm really excited. So what does that mean? It means that by getting the right people with the right background, the right target customer, being able to communicate with them, and we communicate with people age 50 plus. We don't talk to people younger than that because they're not our target market. So the point being is that by communicating, this lady is really excited, and she's come back to us and said, I'm moving forward. That's about relationship building, and it's about talking to the right people at the right time with the right information. So, what else? Occupation, think about that. It's important. You need to know who your person is, what sort of job they do. Relationship status, are they married, are they single, are they divorced, are they widowed, whatever. Do they have any kids? How many are there? How old are they? Do they own or rent their own home? This just gives you a picture of the person you're writing to or you're talking to. What cars do they drive? What do they do for fun? What hobbies do they have? Where do they holiday? What type of holiday? Is it a luxury holiday? Is it a budget holiday? Is it in the Caribbean? Is it just down the road? Is it in a caravan? Do they tour?
Mobile home.
Mobile home, yeah. You know, there's so many different types of holidays. You need to think about the person you're talking to and what sort of holiday they have. Okay? Really important, because A, this is getting used to who they are, but it also helps you start to target and find out where they are, where you can find them. What cars do they drive? If they drive Jaguars, BMWs, Mercedes, i.e. luxury sedans, I think they're called. You know, there's no point in talking to people who drive Nissan Micras or Ford Fiestas, as we have over here. Don't know what they are in the States, but the equivalent, little cars. So a bit different. What do they do for fun or hobbies? Think about this. Do they play golf? Do they go skiing like we do? Do they just read, or do they do, what was that thing that Becky does?
Quilting.
Quilting.
Cross stitch and things like that.
There's a lot, remember, there's thousands and thousands of things that people do. And you have to remember, think about what you do for fun. What are your hobbies? Because there are thousands of people out there who do the same. That's exactly why we say to people we love skiing. It's why we say to people we've got cats and we've got, our children have got dogs, we've got 5 children, all those sorts of things. People relate to this stuff. If we talk to somebody who's a skier, they'll go and we say, oh, we love skiing, they'll go, oh. And all of a sudden their ears prick up and they start to listen more.
And you may think none of this is relevant, really, because you're just marketing. Well, the face of marketing has changed, and you have to be able to keep up with that. We've just come back from a private mastermind that we did in Orlando just a few weeks ago. And the stuff that we learned there is changing the way we market, because the whole landscape of marketing has changed. It's much more social. We do far more. It's just special, and you need to know how we do this kind of thing.
So, moving on.
We told you. There are other things that you also need to know. You need to know what kind of things people read. The list is endless, really, but we've just given you some of the ones that we focus on. What kind of magazines do they read? Do they read things like Success Magazine, Entrepreneur Magazine? Do they read hobby magazines? Specialist magazines? Do they read personal development? What kind of books do they read? Do they read newspapers either physically, not many people do these days, or do they read them online? What kind of papers do they read? All of these things are very, very important to you. We want to know what kind of income bracket are they in. And there are various ways to find this out. We are marketing to people who really and truly want to be entrepreneurs and want to run a successful home business. So we're looking for people who've got the money to invest in the back-end products of Mo. We're looking for type of personal quality that they have and what kinds of characteristics do they have. All of these things will come out in practice, but once you write them down and you start using them, you'll start to see how much they can influence the way that you market. The other sort of things that you ought to be looking at is who do they view as experts and people that they follow and listen to. Like if we look at the online world, for example, you've got the gurus, for want of a better word, people like Gary Vaynerchuk, people like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Russell Brunson, even Pagan. The list is as long as your arm. They might not know any of those people, yet we are using those as potential experts they may view. You've got to find out a little bit more. You've got to dig around and find out really and truly the people that influence their lives now, so that you could show them that you understand those people yourself.
They also give you potential targets if you're marketing on Facebook. Yeah. They give you potential targets to search for, interests as we call it. Now, the thing I want you to think about also here is the income bracket.
Yes, sorry, I didn't explain that very well.
Because, when you're marketing Moog, realistically, we're not really interested in the front end sales. We're not interested in the front end commissions. We're interested in the back end commissions, the silvers, golds, titaniums, platinums, diamonds, and mentoring. Why? Because that's where you get the profit. That's where your big commissions are. So you have to thinking about that think about the income bracket of your potential customer. Are they likely to be somebody whose income is up to 20,000 a year, for example? Probably not. Because what you're looking for is people who have an income, who have a level, who have a standard of living, who are, and an income that are likely to have the money or have access to sufficient money to be able to spend $60,000 on the back end. That's what you're interested in. For me, I'm going to suggest either $50,000 or $75,000 plus as an income bracket, as an annual income. So really think about that. And just going back to the personal qualities, you know, are they a leader? Are they high achiever? Are they entrepreneurial? Are they health conscious? Are they highly skilled? Maybe they're a sales professional. Maybe they're management in some way or form, in some shape or form. Think about this stuff. It's really, really important.
Well, we said we would get to this one, didn't we? And we would tell you we have two people. We have two now because he was a little sexist to begin with. We only had one, and he was called Peter. And he's the chap there with the red tie. Actually, he looks a bit like Donald Trump, but
That's
there we
story.
go.
That's another story.
So I had to introduce another one. So we have Patricia. So Patricia is there beside Peter.
And we're just going to go through this example because I want you to understand the important bit, which is all about the painful stuff. Okay, we mentioned it earlier. What are their pains? What are their aspirations? What is it they want to do? So this is Peter and Patricia. They're aged 40 to 55, and they're management consultants, male and female. They're not a couple. They could be, but they are management consultants. So that's the summary, if you like. So here's the three top most painful things in their lives. This is the important bit because this is the stuff you talk about in your adverts, in your lead capture pages, in your videos. These are their problems. These are the things they want to overcome. You have to talk to people about these things because you may have experienced some of these. This is why we're talking about using yourself as an example of your first target customer. This is our first target customer. Why? Because we were management consultants. We know exactly what the problems were. We knew exactly what we wanted because we'd experienced them. You know, when I lost my job in 1994, I became a consultant. And then Susan and I joined forces and we both became consultants and started to work specifically in the veterinary profession. So we know exactly what the pains are of our market in this case because it was us. So what were the most painful things? These are just some examples. I say top three, but I've given you a lot more. 6, I think. The lack of time, no holidays. Our income was maxed out. Why? Because we were working 6, 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. We got paid by the hours we worked.
Couldn't work any more hours.
Exactly. We just couldn't do it. Not enough money. Missing out on family stuff. Partner has to work. These are the sorts of things that go through people's heads. You know, why can't I do what I want to do? Why can't I have the life I want to live? And these are the problems that they have to deal with.
And sometimes you have to come out and be quite raw about it. And we didn't really want to share some of those things, but we found by sharing our personal experiences around all of those topics in our social media, in videos, in our emails, it really and truly does help because it makes you real and they realise, well, they've got the same problems as me and they've solved it, so how can they help me? They've got a solution for me.
So if they've got a business now, you know, we were self-employed with our business, so we knew we did have painful things in our business. You know, we had feast and famine. The feast was too much work, but it was always time for money. Famine, always looking for work, and we'll take anything. When I first started as a consultant, I didn't have any customers. So I was always looking for work, and I would take anything. If anybody in the UK, even a 3-hour or 4-hour drive away, somebody said, "Oh, I might be interested in what you do. Can you help me?" I'd drive up there and see them. I'd spend 8 hours driving just to find out that they didn't really want what I was offering. I had a lack of leads because I didn't know what I was doing. And I was working, it's just what I said, working all over the country. I was always traveling. So, you know, there's a lot of things that all other consultants out there will experience the same as we did. Top 3 things you're afraid of. And again, there's not 3, there's 5 this time.
You're an accountant, you should be able to know your numbers.
I know, I should be, yeah, this is true. But, so what am I afraid of? Looking at their future. Will they have a pension? It's just like us. We didn't really have a pension. Not able to look after a family and pay the bills. You know, that goes back to the famine thing. What happens if I don't get enough work to pay the bills? Haven't got enough money to save. Got no nest egg. No money going into the 401k or the pension schemes that we have here in the UK. And then we'll never be able to stop work. Think about that.
Such a big one now.
That's huge if you're talking to the potential retirement market.
All over the press, it really is, and people are very, very scared.
All governments are talking about pushing retirement age up to 70. They're all talking about it. Why? Because the social security system is bust. They can't afford to pay people. You know, people live longer now, so they're saying, well, you can't stop. You can't stop work until you're older. Now, there's a lot of things that people won't talk to you about before they buy from. They're skeptical. And they'll never say it to you, but you know it's going on. You know, the little voice on your shoulder or in your head that talks to you and says, well, you know, can I do it? Will it work for me? You know, they see other people do it. There's loads and loads and loads of Moog testimonials and case studies of people having success with Moog for all different sorts of reasons, all sorts of different backgrounds, all different ages. But people still ask these questions. I see it working for other people. Can I do what's required? Will it work for me if I do? Is it a scam? Pretty common one. But you've got to answer this stuff. You've got to think about it. Do I have the time? Really important, particularly if they've got a full-time job or, in this case, consultancy business. You have to make the time. What will my friends think? Really, really, I want you to think about that one. Because peer pressure is really, really powerful. And if they go to their friends and say, I'm starting a business online, they go, oh, you know, one of those scammy things or whatever, you know, you're missing playing snooker down the pub, or you're missing out on the football, or whatever it is you're missing out on. What will your friends think? Because you have to understand, your friends are different to you, potentially. If they've got businesses, then they won't think anything of it. If they're employees, they will think something of it, and they'll voice their opinions. How do I tell my other half? So,
quite a common one.
Quite a common one, particularly if there's not, you know, both people working it, husband and wife working it. What will it cost, and can I afford it? So they're pretty general, but think about it, because people won't tell you, but you still have to answer it. So what are their alternatives?
Well, what are they going to do if they don't change? Well, we're back to all of the things that you probably asked yourself at one time. Do I carry on doing what I was doing? So here we say, continue trading time for money. That's what we would have continued to do had we not made the change that we did. The very popular one that you hear all the time, you see in social media, you know, they will continue the same old lifestyle. They'll be stuck in the rut or staying in the rat race, but they will continue to moan and groan about it. And you have to be able to address how they can get out of it and show them what the results are at the end. You know, what are the other things they're going to do? Well, if they're not looking at mode, they might be looking at an alternative style of home business. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you maybe might have to just let them go and let them do that. From our perspective, we've been the Amway route. We've had the garage full of products, and we've still got some all these years later. You don't need to do that these days. Information, provision, digital products, events, masterminds, all the things we have in Move are so much easier to provide, and we need to address those kinds of things. And yeah, the big one here, you know, what is their alternative if they don't do this? Well, they're going to be working for the rest of their lives. That's a very, very scary prospect. And we know from the marketing that we do and the interaction we get on our posts that some people have just resigned themselves to this. No matter what you say or do, they're resigned that that's what they're going to have to do. But that's not to say they won't change at some point.
So what's their absolute dream situation? Well, give up being a consultant, as we remember we're talking about Peter and Patricia, or be selective with the consultancy, only do the bits they want to do. Maybe they want to have more than one income stream, which is absolutely essential nowadays in our opinion. They need a leverageable system. Move is leverageable. Think about that. You only need to bring people in the front end. It's a system that's leverageable. Once you bring people in the front end, the coaches and trainers take over, either the event coaches or the phone coaches. They take over, take people through the system, and they will promote and sell the products for you. It's leverage. You don't have to do it.
If you bring the right people in to the front end.
Correct. There's no income limitations because there's no income, no limitation on what you can do. You get time freedom and choice of a better lifestyle. That's the things that most people want, the choice of a better lifestyle. But the thing you can't get over to people, in our opinion, the main one is time freedom. You cannot explain what time freedom is until you have it. We're very fortunate nowadays that we have it. And it's still difficult to explain. People still say, is it real? Do you really travel the world? Do you really do this? Do you really do that? Yes, of course we do.
Can you drop everything that you're doing at a moment's notice because you've got a family problem? Yes, that's for us is time freedom. No boss to ask. We know we can just do what we have to do and do it right away.
And our business carries on running. So that's the keys. So we just want to share with you, you know, there are some generic markets out there, and I want to share with you just to give you an idea of what those people want and what their challenges and their problems are, so that you can understand this. Okay, because even if you are marketing to the generic people, then they still have problems and they still have things they want to do, and you still have to answer them. So, as we were talking about Amway earlier on, it's where we started. Network marketers. We talk about network marketers. What do they actually want? So here's a list of things they want. Changing lifestyle, control their own life, decide their own income. And I'm just going to go through these quickly. Time freedom, pursue their passion, residual income, additional income, work from home. They're all pretty standard things. But you have to understand that all network marketers, that's why they're in network marketing, because this is what they want. But they also have some problems and frustrations, challenges.
Things like what they're doing right now is not actually working for them. The continual prospecting and cold calling, oh boy, do we hate that. Low commissions, oh, we definitely hated that. But at the time, we were learning and we thought, yeah, we're going to get the big one day. Talking to friends and family, there's only so many of those. And of course, the old thing, the churn and burn. You bring them in 1 month and they're gone the next because they don't really understand it, and perhaps they were just doing it as a favour for you. And of course, their generic problem in most network marketing businesses, not enough leads coming in for them. And their costs, the garage full of products, they're also shit.
Meetings, all that stuff.
Their costs are generally more than they make. But for some people, they love it. That's fine.
There are successful network
There
marketers.
are. We know lots of them. We have people that we know are hugely successful, but they do treat it as a business and they know how to do this stuff. But most people don't.
Yeah. So potential generic market for you. So the other one I want to talk to you about is opportunity seekers or make money online. These are people who go to Google and go type in make money online or make money from home or how can I make more money? Whatever it is they type in, very generic. If you got a solo ad, for example, you're pretty likely to have got generic opportunity seekers or make money online type people. But they still have wants and problems and frustrations. So
what do they want?
Here's some examples for you.
They want more money, obviously. They want to give up their job. They want to travel. Like we said before, they want time freedom.
Very similar to network marketing. Very similar to most people.
Honestly, it's just the way it is. They want to work from home. They've seen other people doing it. They love the idea of the residual income, and that isn't necessarily the laying on the beach with money coming out of a computer, but they like the idea of residual income. They want to change their lifestyle because they've seen it's possible. They want more control over their life, and of course, the biggie there, not having to answer to a boss. But like our network marketers, they do have problems and frustrations, the same as everybody.
So, no time or money. Same as what we had when we first got started. We didn't have the time because we were working our consultancy business 10, 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. But we knew if we wanted to achieve something, we had to find the time. So we made it happen. Negative friends and family, well, one of those business, that'll never work. Technology, well, when we started, technology was a lot more difficult than it is now, particularly with building websites and marketing funnels and all that sort of stuff. But, and our basics were we knew how to send an email, how to do a spreadsheet, how to write a letter on Word or whatever, that sort of thing. Normal business stuff, nothing exceptional. Might have been able to buy something on Amazon or whatever. So, technology is a big problem. But you have to overcome it and tell people it isn't that much of a problem. To be honest, it isn't. It's only in your head. Then, of course, we're back to, will it work for me? I've not got enough leads. Overwhelm. I have to learn so much stuff. But in actual fact, you can ignore all of that. Tell people what they need to know. You can say, you're suffering from overwhelm, don't know what to do next. You've got all this information you think you have to learn. What would happen if you had a coach and a step-by-step proven system that you could follow one item at a time and have a personal coach to take you through it, video by video, if you like. So every time you get a question, you can ask your coach and they'll answer it for you. It's a way to overcome overwhelm. They don't know where to start. Same example. It's step by step, and you've got a coach. Don't know who to trust. Fine. They may have done some of this stuff before, and they don't know who to trust. That's why you have to build the relationship. It's why you have to build the trust. Because if they do that, they'll come. You do that, they'll come and work for you, with you. They quit before they succeed. No, it's a pyramid. No support. That's huge. In Mo, we have big communities. They're all online, but we have communities. And then when you go to the physical events, you go to the masterminds, you actually meet the people. you see there's actually a real community. You make friends with real people. We now have friends all around the world.
We go and see them when we travel. It's wonderful.
People who we've met at events. Absolutely amazing. What other problems they have? They do the wrong stuff. So they concentrate on building websites instead of marketing. They concentrate on getting the right picture instead of marketing. They concentrate on all sorts of things.
Being perfect, usually.
Being perfect. Yeah, that's another one. Perfection instead of marketing. They're looking for somebody to model. Because if they can find somebody who's already successful, somebody who's doing what they want to do, they will follow you. It's exactly what we did when we got our first mentor, when we first came online. As Mary was 27, he'd done what we wanted to do, so he could show us. Get rich quick. They don't get rich quick enough. They think they can press the button and the money spews out the computer. It doesn't work. But it's a frustration and a problem. Explain to people there is no such thing as get rich quick. Unless you win the lottery, and that probably isn't going to happen. Particularly if you don't do it. Lack of self-belief. This one is huge. This one is huge. We've been doing some training on this ourselves, in actual fact, trying to improve our own skills, haven't we?
And it's really important that your prospect has to believe in themselves first of all before they even take the next step. And that's the thing that you have to work on. And there is a lot of self-doubt in a lot of people. And it's the thing that holds them back. So, yeah, we work on that really, really hard.
Fear of failure. Pretty common. Missed the boat. That's another one we hear. Somebody said it to us the other day when they were talking to us on the phone. They said, is the market saturated? And then they followed it up with, well, I know it's not. Well, why didn't you ask the question?
It's just the way people think.
It's the way people think. But you have to address it. You have to think about these things. This is what's the stuff that's going on in people's heads. And if you address these things and you say, well, you know, a lot of people think they've missed the boat. You know, it's been going 2 years and there's no customers left.
No, it's just a baby at the moment.
It's minute. You have to explain to them the market is huge, particularly as it's online and it's worldwide. How many people are there out there just like you? And then, of course, we've got a few more done before and it's not worked. Well, we could say that about Amway. We did it before and it didn't work. Did it stop us? Absolutely not. But we needed to have it addressed. People need to think, where will I be in 5 to 10 years? That's a big problem for a lot of people. They don't know. And you have to say to them, well, where are you going to be in 5 to 10 years? You're going to be doing the same thing that you're doing today. You're still going to be stuck in that rut, earning that same salary, driving in the same traffic jams, in the same car on the same days of the week. Things that you need to talk about. It takes too long to learn. Well, it doesn't. You just got to be focused. Costs a fortune. You know, if people start complaining about how much it's going to cost, then they're not the right person for your business, for your mode business. They just seriously aren't. Starting part-time. Can I do it part-time? Well, of course, we've explained to you that you can. So we're just coming towards the end now. So here's something for you.
So visual is really important, and we believe that patience really is a virtue, and behind those words are the famous bamboo shoots. And if you don't know the story of the Chinese bamboo shoots, you should definitely go and Google it. There is a TEDx talk by Greg Hill. It's about 15 minutes long. Well, it is 15 minutes long because they all are 15 minutes long. He's an amazing storyteller, but he shares the bamboo shoot story. But basically, you know, a bamboo seed is planted and you don't see anything for approximately 5 years. And then at the end, you've got to water it every single day. The key words here, every day. It's like your mode business. You have to take action on it every day. Every day. So you water the bamboo shoots seeds every day. And in 5 years' time, because that's the time apparently that it takes, the first shoots come through. Now, they're not just one tiny little shoot that is going to create this little bamboo stem. It's actually been extending its network over these 5 years. And it starts to grow at a rapid rate. And in fact, it can actually grow up to 25 meters tall. And that's what your Mo business is like. If you want it to be like that, you've got to water it every single day.
Once you get towards, as Susan said, 25 meters, it starts to grow at something like 4 foot a day.
It's incredible.
After 5 years, all of a sudden, it starts to grow at a phenomenal rate. And that's exactly the same as your Mo business. You know, I'm not saying 5 years, but patience is a virtue. Build your basics. Get your systems in place, and then start to expand them and grow them. And can't think of the word.
But you know, the thing is, we could have given up. Like every hurdle that we had where things weren't working the way we expected, or the business we was promoting didn't turn out to be what we expected. We could have just given up. But we knew that we'd sown these seeds 7 years ago. And those seeds today are bearing fruit.
Every day.
Every single day. From every bit of content that we've created, every video, every webinar we've done, every podcast we've recorded, they are out there doing the work for us because we carried on planting the seeds. And I want you to be doing the same and realize that the results do come with your activities well into the future.
So, the fortune is in the follow-up. And you've heard this before. But going back to the patience thing, you have to follow up. Emails, content, videos, however it is, messaging on Facebook, messaging on LinkedIn, whatever it is you do, this is so true, providing you've got two things. You've got the right people in your funnel, so the right people in your list, and you've built the relationship with them. That's what you have to do. And then understand that they will buy when the time is right for them, not when the time is right for you. Remember, they're on a journey, just like you're on a journey. You know, they're on what we call a buyer's journey or a purchasing journey. And when you go to buy something new for the very first time, you do a bit of research at the beginning, and the other end of the scale, if you like, the other end of the spectrum is when you get your card out and buy. So between thinking about this is what I'd like to do, this is what I'd like to buy, and actually buying it and paying for it is a big difference. It's a journey. There's a lot of stuff in between. And that could be a week, a month, a year, 2 years, 5 years. You've no idea. And so your challenge is to continue to follow up, continue to answer questions, to continue to build relationships with the right people, so that when they're ready to buy, they buy from you. I want you to remember, people, when they're ready to buy, they will buy. And if they don't buy from you because you're not there, they'll buy from somebody else. That's just a fact of life. And I can tell you it's exactly the same in this online business. You have to be there, build the relationship, and when they're ready to buy, they'll buy from you.
And what can we say but the end slide? It's something taught to us by our mentor. We were very, very frustrated at one point in our business, and it didn't seem to matter what we did. We just were not getting where we wanted to go. And he came over to London and he was staying over before he flew back to the States. And he sat down with us over dinner and he wrote on a napkin for us on the table. He wrote these words: "You must be married to the process and divorced from the result." Well, what does that mean?
It means that you have a process. MOBE is a process. Okay, MOBE is a process. Understand it's a process. Your part of the process is to do the marketing on the front end, either to the I Am Freedom funnel or to a 21 Steps funnel. That's your job. It's a process, and you've got to keep putting people in the front end. Some people will buy, some people won't. Do you care? Absolutely not. The process works. You just got to keep doing the process. And realistically, what the outcome is for individual people, you don't care.
It sounds harsh, but it really is something you need to get into your head, because if you don't, you're going to get very frustrated, very annoyed, and you'll think it's your fault. It's not your fault. But the results will be better when you speak to the right people, build relationships with them, show them that you care about the outcome for them as much as you want to build your own business and be successful. So thank you for listening. We hope that you had great value from this training. We've absolutely loved doing it for you. So Karen, over to you.
Thank you guys so much for coming and being a part of tonight's Elite Earners webinar. And again, we are always here Tuesday nights, 9:00 p.m. Eastern New York time. So tune in. You can get the link to register in your consultant email. If you are not getting your consultant emails, please contact mobe.com/support and get that and get a copy of that, so that, or make sure that you guys are signed up on that so that you can get all the details for these webinars, because this isn't the only one. There's a ton of information that comes in those consultant emails. So you definitely want to get a copy of that every day. And we look forward to seeing you next week. So everyone, thank you so much for coming and have a wonderful night.